As a culture in the Stock Secret Society, we always meet every November, December to actually plan and pick those stocks that will actually give us good returns. When we say good returns, we are looking at 50%, 100% in the next year. And that was how we met in this video that you are going to watch in 2024, and we pick these stocks because in the Stock Secret Society, we meet weekly, 3 p.m. And every week we teach strategy and we look at the stocks that we are following up to see the ones who will take position and see the one who can swap. What do I mean by swapping? Let's say we have a stock that is not performing as expected and we have another stock that has same potential. So what we do is to sell off that stock and take position in that stock that has that potential to give us the return we so desire. So that's how we always do in the Stock Secret Society. We meet weekly, so 4 times in a month you're able to listen to me, ask questions, and I teach strategy. I don't repeat lesson except it is being requested, except my members requested for me to repeat such a lesson. So because there's so much to learn, and every day ideas, insight kept coming, and I cannot hold back. I have to give it to my community. So we meet this period to look at stocks, we look at their fundamentals, we look at trend, we look at news, we look at the macroeconomics, look at what is going on in the market, look at the global market, then we look at technical analysis and see how we take position. So if you watch this video, I want you to do one thing. Though this video was done in 2024 and in planning 2025. So what I want you to do is to write the name of these stocks and check their price so far in 2025 and see how they've performed. And after you've done that, I want you to look back. Imagine you put 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million a year ago. Imagine you put that money a year ago. Imagine what that money will become now. So if you can imagine that, let's come back to today. So imagine you join the Stock Secret Society now and you join our meeting in October ending and November, December, when we pick these stocks, analyze them, and look at what we should do and look at what we are going to do and bring out all these stocks. You will be amazed what your portfolio will look like in 2026. If I'm telling you, you would think I wanted to join my community. No, that's why I want to post this video. This video is specially for my Stock Secret Society. But see, I just want, in fact, I didn't take permission. You understand? I just want you guys to see what we do in that community. So after this voice, the next voice you're going to hear is me talking in our meeting. And you can see how we go about in the meeting. So I want you guys to take time, take your pen, take your notepad, note these stocks, note the prices that I recommended it when we did that meeting, and see what they've done today and project what you're able to get in 2026 when you join us this period. So you have to be smart. Information has a lifespan. So you can see the lifespan of the information I gave then has expired. So be fast to join this one so that you always know what to do. Because see, I must tell you the truth. When you hear information and you don't take action, that information is a waste. You get the point. But if you hear this information now, you take action, you will look back and thank God that you're able to take that action, because your money that you are trying to get can actually stop you from making progress. As funny as it is, you have the money to join and you deny yourself, and before you know, the market will take it, and that's when you get angry and come back. I don't want you to lose your money in the market. So take your time, watch us, and see how you can take advantage of it. So guys, watch this video. What I want us to do is, because there are a lot of companies that are actually bringing good results, so to speak. When we say good result, it's not really good result. So what I plan to do is to check for their quarterly earnings, that's Q1, Q2, and look for a company that companies that are able to do excellently well in Q1, Q2, Q3. So, and as the week as we enter the new week, I'll be able to get those companies and we'll highlight them. And also the ones that are coming out of debt, we'll highlight them also and watch how they are going to play out as we take position in them to see which we perform well. You know, when you have options, you become confused. But if you know that there is no option, you just go for the ones that are available. But currently, 80% of companies' earnings are actually excellent. So that is why I titled this Winning Nigerian Stocks 2025. So I want to take position now for 2025. And we are not ignorant of what might happen along the way. So we have plans with that also. If you are familiar with the US market, you see a lot of people are predicting crash and all that. So in light of that, if that might happen, which hopefully it will not happen, we might have some ripple effect in other. If you look at the risk on asset like Bitcoin, so if we are having the percentage of Trump winning like 70 to 30, the market will be fine. Even though it is Kamala Harris 80, Trump 20, the market will be fine. But when there is a close head running like that, the market will just be disorganized because a lot of people would prefer to be in cash to wait for what will happen. So we'll still look at the things we are going to look. We are looking at the quarterly earnings. We are looking at the revenue. We are looking at the profit before income tax. We also look at the income tax expense. And we'll look at profit for the period and earnings per share. So these are the few things we are going to look at in the quarterly earnings that have just been released. So the main goal and objective for us is to focus on stocks that are strong, that has strong growth potential, and their revenue are increasing consistently, and they have solid returns and long-term stability. So those are projects we want to put our money into. So also focusing on stocks that are able to pay dividends, because if per adventure the market turn around, these are stocks that investors will pump their money into, knowing fully well that the market will always bounce back. So they will be able to wait while cooling their mind with dividends. So that is why we are going to consider this as we make progress in this community. So if you look at the all share index right now, for more than 285 days, the market has been ranging, and so far we are cool as the market is ranging. But currently, if you look at the danger sign that I put there, you see that the market has actually broke out of the ranging box, which is a form of danger. But if you look at the second to the last green box, that has always been a kind of support. When the market get there, it bounce back. When it get there, it bounce back. So if per adventure the all-share index dips to that point and we're able to push through that point, we might just close some of our positions, most especially the ones that are on profit, to hold on to our cash to see what can actually happen. Because if there's any dip coming based on what is happening here, we might see another support based on the Fibonacci retracement. The all-share index will be coming to 90. So 90 will be another strong support. And if that 90 is broken, I think it should be tough because it will not be a crash, but it will just be a correction, so to speak. But one thing is certain, because of the results that we've seen in the market, it is hard to believe that these things will happen. But we all know that the market is fair, because the market is unfair to everyone. Sometimes when you think the market will go up, that is when the market will come down. And sometimes when you think the market will come down, that is when the market will go up. So it is this uncertainty most times that makes the market to be unique, because if all of us know that the market will go up, all of us will be in same position and the market will not be interested, because there will be nobody to sell. There will be nobody to sell to you. Take, for example, if we all know that continue to go for 2 years. Of course, everybody will want to buy, and those at the other end will not want to sell because they also have that information. But because we have different way of interpreting information, and we have different opinion, and we have biases, and we have different way of saying things, that is why the market is unique. I can see a stock that is going down and confidently tell you that this stock is unique and is going to do well. For example, I bought Dangote Sugar on Friday, and I will continue to buy because I believe that they are going to do their listing next year. So the next year can come and they don't do their listing, I'll still push my hope to next year also, which is 2027. So that is what belief can do to an investor. And per adventure, if it happens, my waiting will be rewarded handsomely. So another stock you can look again is Elan Lakes. Elan Lakes has been posting negative stock 2-3 years, and you keep loading it, not with your hard-earned money, but with profits from other stocks. And if you can have 1 million of it, or you have 10 million units of it, and you just relax, knowing fully whether it is already close to the down, like he who is down, fear no fall. So if the stock is at that position, you're able to load 10 million units. You are very sure that once production starts for Elan Lakes will cross 100. And per adventure, we might get a head run with Okumu and Presco. Might try to take half of their price. Half of their price, you are okay if you are not greedy. So this is just what we are seeing in the market. And this is not technical analysis tracks sentiment in the market. It tracks sentiment, what is happening in the market. So what is going on in the market? You look at the economy, you look at everything that is going on. So Christmas is coming. So it is sure we will get some deep, like I was sharing with a friend, don't be shocked if you see somebody dumping quality stock for a cheaper price. Don't be shocked. If somebody just come and just dump on the people that are bidding, don't be shocked. It's not that the company is bad. It's just that the person needs money. I've been in a situation where I have to sell Union Bank lower than I bought. Not that I did not know that the stock will do well. I think I bought at 5 then and the stock approached 6 something after I sold. But because I have a pressing need at that time and I need that money. So I was just smiling that this person that is buying now is just buying this thing at a good rate. So after that, you see a lot of people bringing their bid to see if they can get it. And so I remember when I bought Dangote Cement, it was somebody that was just as in good units. I think the person should be dropping close to 500,000 units at 112. Then I was just loading it. I was like, but this company is unique now. What's going on? I was just loading it. And after a while, the stock started going up. And I think I sold when it got to 200. I sold 200 because I'm a 100% person. So I sold 200 naira. So I made close to 100%. I was saying, wow, I've made money. I never knew that with this means we get to that price. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, as we approach December, some stocks will be on sales. So these fundamentals will guide us so that anytime we see them on sales, we want to load more. We will not be afraid because we know that the fundamentals are okay. Every other external news, you just lock yourself to the noise. Why? It's going to bounce back. So if we look at the sector that have been performing over the years, we'll look at some nice industry. And I think 3 of the industry has actually outperformed the all share index, close to 4. One is dragging with it down here. So if we look at the oil and gas sector, the oil and gas sector has done well. That is 21%. It is far above the all share index. And if you want to look at the other sector that is actually following the oil and gas sector, we want to look at the banking sector. The banking sector has done 15% so far. And that is why you want to look into these key areas to see the leaders there. According to Kaslim principle, he said you need to go for the leaders and not the laggard. But sometimes you want to go for the laggard because the laggard will soon become the leader. And the leader might, I'm not saying there is assurance there, might become the laggard. So as principles are universal, experience are peculiar. So how you experience the markets, we give you insight on how to follow some of these principles and how to approach them. For example, when Japan Gold was in D plus at 25 kobo, I was buying it, guys. I was buying it, and at the end of the day, I make good money from it. So when I noticed Baja just came out from debt, I quickly rushed in. I bought my first unit at 4 naira 80, and I bought another one at 5 naira. I was singing it. I was singing news about Baja because of that information that I've gotten. And the stock went to do close to 24 naira. So these are some signs. Let's say all these earnings we have been seeing is only 2 companies that have been doing excellently well. You can tell how the price of that company will be shooting. But currently, people just have interest. Sentiment is pushing towards Jitco because of their amazing results. 1 trillion is not a walk in the park. So that is why a lot of people are pushing towards that. So that is the sectors we want to look at. The oil and gas, we saw what Owando did. We saw what Seplat, Corn Oil, Total, MRS, and the rest. Even Etana also, which they just came out of debt. I think in our subsequent meeting, we'll look at their earnings also. So the next one that is following the banking sector is the insurance sector is the next after the banking sector. So the insurance are also areas that you want to pay attention to because they are also coming up. You can see if you check the result of NIM Insurance, you see what they are doing. And if you check that of Guinea Insurance, you see the amazing results that they are bringing out. So these are some key things that are doing well, but these are the ones that have done excellently well. So other sectors, you can still see 1 or 2 stocks that will give you good returns. But these 3 sectors are sectors that will pay attention to if we want to load good money from the market. So we look at the oil and gas. You can we don't know what will happen when when the suspension will be lifted tomorrow. We'll see if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down. And Arade also is another good one. If you can get at a good entry price. 400 and below, one can start going in. You go in, maybe you want to invest 5 million, you divide it by 4. So by tomorrow, you go in with 250, and the next day, you go with 250 because long time, the stock is going to do well. And of course, if you look at our economy is solely dependent on oil, and a lot of things are involved. If oil price is up, it will affect everything in the country. And if it is down, it's going to affect everything in the country. And insurance, with this new government, we might see insurance doing well. You can see the introduction of VAT, and you can see a lot of education going up about insurance. So poor man don't want to hear about insurance, but you just know that it's the right thing to do once you have the right knowledge and the right company to work with. So we still have consumer goods. Consumer goods, if you check very well, I think they are coming up, but not much. It's just 0.5. So okay, let's look at percentage and see which of them we actually do well. So insurance is 8%, banking is 15%. So oil and gas is leading. So oil and gas is 21%. Banking and so if you check very well, the next one we'll be looking at is consumer goods. So we'll keep watching. If you look at the chart, once we see anyone crossing the all share index, we want to pay attention to that sector and see which of the stock to go into. So the earnings has been 80% good and 20% bad, which the bad ones are not that much. Maybe it's just a quarter that is bad, and some of them are still in huge debt, like International Brewery. They are still in the waters. So now that good news is bad news. Why do I say good news is bad news? With all these earnings coming, you would have expected a good run. You expected the market to launch into a bull run. It's just normal. It's just trading as usual. So that is to say, new money is not coming in. New money is not coming in. That is what it tells. New money is not coming in. And it looks as if most people bought high. So currently, there's no much profit taking, and there's much money in. So, and we'll be looking at foreign money coming in, but if you look at it, we might be looking at, okay, maybe some company will become an advantage of our market. The election is something they have to look at policies. They don't know new government to feel like, but next week we'll know who is the president of. As I used to say. So once we have the president, we will know the policy that the president will actually put in place. So the first one I want to draw our attention to is Custodian. So Custodian is one unique company that although I recommended it when it was 9, but currently it's 12. So at this 12, one will want to pay attention to see how to take advantage of it. So if you look at the Q1, the revenue was 16 billion compared to 2023, which was 5.7 billion. And this is a 181% jump. And if you look at the profit before income tax, which was 11 and 2, and let's jump straight to profit for the period. So profit for the period is actually 10 billion compared to 2023 that they paid, that they made 2 billion. That is a 434%. This is just Q1. This is just Q1, and this is what they made in their Q1. So if you look at the earnings per share, they jumped from 34 kobo to 1 naira 80 kobo. That is a 429% jump. That is for the Q1 alone. So if you look at the Q2, revenue is 18 billion, and that of last year was 7.7, and that is a 136% jump. And if we jump down to profit for the period, that is 11 billion was made in second quarter 2024 against 3 billion in second quarter 2023, which gives us a change of 278%. Now, Q1, good. Q2, excellent. Look at the earnings per share from 50 kobo to 198. That is 296% jump. And don't forget that this company actually paid an interim dividends. Fortunately, I didn't get mine. I actually sold, but it was a good sales because I bought at 950 and I sold at 1314. And I hope to go back in, but of course, I can't buy things. I can't buy everything. Once it is good, I always go for the best. And sometimes you go for the best, then you see another one that is excellent. So let's look at the Q3 report. Wow. The revenue, 31 billion against 9 billion. That is 233% jump. And if you look at the profit, income before tax is 26.7 billion against 6 billion in 2023. And that is a 337% increment. And if you look at the profit for the period, which is 22.2 billion against 5 billion 2023, and that is a 333% jump. Let's move to the earnings per share of 2024 third quarter, which is 373% against 373 kobo. That's 3 naira 73 kobo against 1 naira 13 kobo. So if we now look at the percentage increment, that's 230%. So if we now add all this for just 9 months, we are not even considering the full year. This is just 9 months. So if we are now looking at the 9 months, that is, we are adding Q1, Q2, Q3 together. The revenue is actually 65 billion And if you compare it to 2023, it's 24 billion. And that gives us a 169% increase. And if we jump to the profit for the period is actually 44 billion against 11 billion. And that is a 278% jump. So the earning per share of 9 months actually will blow your mind. 750 kobo. That is 7 naira 50 kobo. 7 naira 50 kobo. And the price is 12. The price is 12 naira. So if so far first quarter it's 180 now, because one thing we can do, we can always project what will happen or what may happen in Q4. You can project what will happen in Q4. It's a simple mathematics. So what you would do is you will add. Now the 9 months give you 750. So you say 750 divided by 3. 750 divided by 3 will give you 250 kobo. So what you are projecting is the minimum we should get for full year should be 250. So if you get 250 from the full year, we are just projecting now. It's not a cast in stone. So if we get 250 for the full year, so what we are having is 1,000. So that is to say, we'll say earning per share made from the full year 2024 is actually 10 naira. So from 10 naira, imagine the dividends they are going to pay from that. Imagine the dividends. So even though they don't pay much, but you know that, okay, they might do something nice. Nothing stops them from paying 1 naira. Nothing stops them from paying 1 naira. And if you are paying 1 naira for a stock that is actually selling for 12 naira, actually a nice one, because we know that by the time the market is fully balanced and the market decides to take a run, we know where you want to do all this analysis before you dump your money. You don't just want to see any stock and the stock is going up and dump your money. No, you want to do your due diligence, because you know that by the time you are going in big, you are paying charges. And by the time you are coming out, you are paying charges. So you don't want to risk, you don't want to guess, you don't want to use luck. So you want to do this thing. If you've done this analysis like this, Q1 excellent, Q2 excellent, Q3 excellent, and your projection for Q4 excellent. If you put your money and the stock is going down, you will not be bothered. All you want to do, you want to find out why is this thing coming down. That's why you want to find out, because you know everything, it's nice. It's just that I don't like the chart based on is in price discovery. But one beautiful thing about price discovery is you can't predict where it's going. Other ones that have done all-time high and they are down, you can tell that they are going back to their all-time high and they might surpass or face strong resistance. But these ones that are just charting a new course, that are into price discovery, you can't predict where they are going. You might see Custodian getting to 15, you think that's all. You see get to 19, you think that all. You see get to 20, you think that all. And you see get to 21. That was how Julie started. I saw Julie at 90 kobo. I'm like, he's still going to calm down. This stock, I'm not sure if I'll buy it. I just ignore it. And we saw it 1, 2, 3. What about ROT Briscoe? That was how we were looking at it, and it's going on. What about Deep Cap? Deep Cap was 40 something, got to 50 kobo, 60 kobo, 1 naira 60 kobo, and now it's down to 1 naira 25 kobo. Who knows where such company is going to? But yeah, you have Custodian and you have data with you. What else do you need to take an informed decision? You don't need any soothsayer to tell you what to do. If you look at Custodian right now, the support we've been having is 695. We have support in 695, and the stock has been doing high so far. And if you look at the high that this stock has been going, it did go to 10, come back to 9, went to 11, went to 14. Currently, is down to 12. So you can see consistently it has been making higher high. So these are stocks you want to buy and monitor this higher highs level. Anytime there's a break in structure, anytime there's a change in structure that the higher high is no longer sustaining, we now have a lower highs. That is when you want to start going out of a stock. There is one way, there is something I want to help us to understand in terms of taking profit. If, for example, you bought a stock at 2 naira, and okay, let's take Custodian, for example. Now the stock is fine, everything is nice. You bought 12 naira. Now your target is 24. That's 100%. Now you now go to 24, but all indication is showing that this stock will still do well. You now hold. You now go to 34. You now get to 44. Now, by the time there's a change of structure from 24 and from 44, and the price now come down to 40, 39, 38. Now you've seen the break of structure. You can sell. If you sell, you don't need to feel bad that you did not sell 44. After all, your target was 24. So 24 to 38, you actually made more than your target. So this will help us to have a balanced emotion so that you will not feel pain, you will not be disturbed. Because initial plan was 100%. That was the initial plan. Now you now have 200 and something. You are now getting angry for the 400% or 300% that you did not make. No, it's a wrong mindset. It's just like a guy that was supposed to win 40 million and one game cut the ticket. So I said, how much did you lose? He said, it's 40 million. I said, you did not lose 40 million. How much did you use in playing it? He said, 100 naira. It's 100 naira you lose. It's 100 naira. He said, no, that is supposed to be 40 million. I said, okay. After all, you are the one that will be passing through the pain. It's 100 naira you invested, and it's 100 naira you lose. Why are you looking at the returns and you're giving yourself sleepless nights? I don't know if anybody can relate to what I'm saying. So once you have a target and you surpass that target, feel free to enjoy the ride. Most times we want that thing to get back to that price again. After the chart is showing us that there is a break of structure, there's a change of structure. The market has reversed, is now down one trend. We now hold on. Then you now come down, you now go up again, which we can still sell. And by the time you come down, we say that I want to resume the trend, we'll buy again and still make good money. This one that I'm showing right now is a weekly chart. So if you look at the weekly chart, you'll see very well that there's always a uptrend and retracement, uptrend and retracement. But if you look at it long time, you see that the stock is actually going up. So this is the monthly chart. So the monthly chart will cover up everything for you to know that the stock is actually going up. So I think number one stock we should be considering is Custodian. And I want to advise, because I'll be doing a lot of analysis on stocks. Maybe today I'll do 5, and next weekend I'll do maybe another 5, and we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to pick the best. But what I want us to do is, inside all these stocks that I'm showing, you are seeing everything, you are seeing the data, you're seeing everything. So you can just pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, and before you know, maybe you have like 4. If you're in this community, you shouldn't have more than 5 stocks, except if you have one for a long time or so. So that when the return is coming, you just be smiling. You don't need to spread yourself. For example, if I have 250,000 naira, I think I'll just dump everything here in Custodian and wait. Even though I know Custodian is a slow mover, because I knew when I bought it at 950, it took like forever for the stock to get to 13. So it's always like that. The same thing with UACN. I think we'll do some analysis about UACN. So this is UACN also. UACN also has excellent. These data I'm showing you, they're on an Excel sheet. So I might just share the Excel sheet so that we can, in case this is not clear enough for us to see, I can share the Excel sheet so that we can have a lot of data to work with. So if you have this Excel sheet with all this stock, 2024, 2025, I start to load on data in the market. So the revenue in 2024 was 40 billion compared to that of 2023, which was 24 billion. That gave us a 64% jump. And if you look at the profit before income tax, 9 billion against 936 million, and that's like 1,000%. And we have income tax expenses, and we also have profit for the period, which was it was negative. That is one unique thing again about UACN compared to Custodian. Custodian don't have negative so far that we've checked, but UACN right now, last year, they actually made negative. So because of this negative result that they brought out in 2023, that is why their stock had a little bit of dip that period, because investors weren't cool with what they amazingly, in 2024, they actually did massively well. That is 610%. Imagine such a profit. 610. And their earning per share rose from negative 29 kobo to 185. That's 1 naira 85 kobo. And if we jump to Q2, we look at the revenue, 42 billion against 28 billion in 2023, and that is a 51% jump. And if you look at the profit for the period, it's actually 3 billion compared to 2.3 billion. That's like 51% jump. And if you look at the earnings per share also, is 1 naira 19 kobo compared to 82 kobo. So their Q3 wasn't that amazing. That is one thing I want us to pay attention to. Their Q3 wasn't amazing in the sense that revenue was the highest. They made the highest. I think their expenses is actually well, I won't say it's high, but I think the cost of sales actually took a lot of the revenue they brought in. So that is what affected their profit, so to speak. But it's still okay. But last year, 2023, they made more than 2024, despite the fact that revenue then was not really huge. So that is one thing you want to pay attention to. So it dips negative 24%. And if you look at the earnings per share also, it actually dips a bit from 193 to 121. So because of the amazing Q1 that they've had, if you now look at the 9 months, so we'll be expecting an amazing result in Q4. So the revenue 9 months is 133 billion, and that of 2023 is actually 81 billion. So if you jump to the profit for the period, it's actually 13 billion against 6 billion, which is 103% jump. And if you look at the earnings per share from 246, we are currently 4 naira 26 kobo. And don't forget that the price of UACN is currently 20 or 21. I can't really tell the actual price. But one unique thing about UACN is the chart. The chart is actually amazing, and I'm still waiting for that push. So this is the chart. This is the weekly time frame, and you can see the position that the stock is currently trading as 21.10 naira. So with this, it gives you a clear direction that if there's any news or any dividend declaration, and if the market is actually interesting or giving us the anticipated bull run, you want to ride this race. You want to ride this run. You ride it 40. That's a strong. There's a not too much resistance at 40, but if you pass through 40, we know that the next resistance is around 60. Then the stronger one is 67. And if you can go through 67, we know that we are going to 80. And once you cross 80, we know that 100 naira UACN is sure. But there are roadblocks along the way, just as we were able to break through 15 to get to this part. And we've lingered enough in this area. Yes, we just need a strong catalyst to actually push up to this point. So once we can get that, it will be interesting for those of us who are already taking position in this particular stock. This is a weekly chart. And if you look at the monthly chart also, the monthly chart just gives you a clear view that the market is actually interesting, because if you look at this box I drew at the end that has red, you see that was a clear resistance level when I was taking position. That red candle there was when I was taking position. But I actually averaged down. My cost price now should be around 17.50 or 17.70. Seeing fully well that the stock is going in my direction, which you can call averaging up. So just like you average down, you can still average up. So there are a lot of investors in the market that doesn't have time to do all these things that we are doing. And you want to pay attention to sentiment, because the stock can be amazingly good, excellently good. The stock will not move because why? There's no sentiment around it. There's no noise around it. So some of these companies, they understand all these things. That's why sometimes they do some corporate disclosure, they do some sales of assets, or they acquire assets. So they know that all this news draw attention to some particular stocks. So this news help the price to move. For example, if UACN come up with a corporate disclosure that they are acquiring an asset worth so billion, you all know that what we are saying will come to fruition. What we just targeted here is 233%. Not that we are putting this that you must wait for it to get to this point. No, but this is just a possibility, not a certainty. So if from 20 you get to 40, that's 100%. I think you should be fine. You should give others your share so that they too can make money from it and take your profit in other words. If you decide to sell off and hold on to it, of course, because we might get a push to 40 and a retracement back to 20 again before we get another push. But going forward, stocks are supposed to do well because of the vision of Mr. President, which is a 1 trillion economy. And what you use to measure this economy is the stock market. So that's why you see they stylishly bringing a lot of companies into the NGS. I think on Monday, a real estate company will be listing on the NGS, and that also will help the market capitalization of NGS. So these are some visions that companies have. So that's why you see all the banks, they are increasing their shares, bringing more capital to see how they can hit that 1 trillion economy. So with that vision, we are sure, or we are somehow certain, that the market will continue to go up as long as Mr. President is still there and is still alive, because he's focused on all these things. But it's just rather unfortunate that the common man is not actually feeling this progress that we are seeing in the stock market. So another one I want to pay attention to is CWG. So CWG is in the IT sector, and for a while now, 2-3 years ago, this stock is like a merry bond, like it's not moving, it's not. But lately, we've seen the stock picking, doing some numbers. Like if you look at the volume, 1.2 million, 2 million, that's 31st, 2 million, on November 1st, 1.2 million. So why we see a gradual improvement in the volume. So if you check from 745, 295, 190, and now we are doing 1.2. So if you look at CWG right now, we'll just check at we'll look at the profit. I don't want this class to be too long. We'll look at the profit. Profit for the period, that's 316. Okay, I didn't calculate the earnings per share. So 316, and 2023 gave us 179, which we are seeing a jump of 76%, which is cool. If we go to their Q2, we'll see the profit for the year actually skyrocketed, in the sense that they made 758%. That is massive for their second quarter. And if you look at the third quarter, they made 234%. So if you bring everything to year to date, you'll be having a 326%. So now CWG Q1 excellent, Q2 excellent, Q3 excellent. So if you check very well now, Custodian Q1 excellent, Q2 excellent, Q3 excellent, UACN Q1 excellent, Q2 not too excellent, Q3 not excellent. Then year to date, when you put everything together, fantastic. But when you look at CWG right now, you want to pay attention to it, because they are actually doing well. Imagine the Q1, they made 76% increase in their profit, and in Q2, 758, and Q3 234. So everything cumulatively comes to 326%, which is cool. This shows that the company is actually doing well. I think I didn't calculate the earning per share, which is net profit over outstanding shares. I think I'll populate it after this class. So the upside potential is actually, for me, I projected 50% because of the chart, not the earnings. The earnings can actually push this thing to 10 naira. But what I'm looking at, if you're buying, I think I placed a order for CWG at 6 naira. So what I'm looking at, if I'm buying at 6, I want to sell at 9. That's 50%. And I think 50% is cool if the market respond as I want. So this area here that I put these two lines down to this other side, you see that is a support. It's a support. It's resistant on support. So I don't want it to break down to 5. 5 is another support area, but any break from this current support that we have, we'll be looking at 5. But bargain altar, we not want it to get to 5. But if you get to 5, it is a steal, because we know that nothing happens to the company. The company is profitable. It's just market sentiment or volatility that is actually happening in the market. So this is a daily chart. And if we look at the weekly charts, you see properly the 57% target that I'm looking at, which if CWG get into a price discovery, we might be looking at 100%. But all this percentage, all these targets are subject to the market rally generally. So they are subject to it. So when we see a general rally, all these things will come to fruition. But right now, the market is still cooling down. I think maybe if Trump becomes the president, there will be no World War III. But if Kamala Harris becomes the president, there will be World War III. So if you hear any announcement that Kamala Harris is the president, don't be surprised if the market starts to tank. Already the US market has started tanking, and Bitcoin also has started tanking. So if it is Trump, the market will pick up. But if it is Kamala, the market we dump a bit before we get a stability. Because if a stock is dumping, you don't want to know why it's dumping. If you know that there's value in it, you want to take position. And as you are taking position, other investors are taking position also. And before you know it, the market will stabilize. So you'll be wondering what happens to what concerns Nigerian market with American market. There's a ripple effect. You can see 2008 when we had economy meltdown in the US. You can see the ripple effect in the Nigerian market. That was what chased a lot of people out of the market. So we want to pay attention and guide through. And we want to see a situation where the whole market will be falling and only Nigerian market will be going up. So this is the monthly chart, and this shows us clearly what is going on. And if you look at the moving average is showing us that the market has a upside potential going forward. So another one I want us to look at is Champs. Champs so far have not been amazing, so to speak, but technically I think the company they are not too. So if you look at Q1, it even affected my voice. So if you look at Q1, they did well 2023, and their profit dip 54%. If you look at Q2, profit dip also, they are negative 32%. So it's just this Q3. I think Africa Prudential has similar character like this. They'll give you Q1 good, Q2 bad, and you will now sell. Then Q3 will be amazing, and it will now go up. They always do that, and their Q4, it will not be good, and they will attach it with dividends, and you see some push. So I don't want to say that as what Champs is doing, but if you look at the Q3 of Champs, excellent. Profit margin 321%. Same with their earnings per share, also 321% jump also. And if you check, if you now check year to date, the profit is not too amazing also. It's just 10% profit for the period, 10% growth from 2023 to 2029. But if you look at the chart, looking at the upside potential, this is a monthly chart, and we're looking at 82%. That is assuming Champs is going back to 350. So let's see if the Q3 will be able to push, and let's see how much we can make from this. So this is the 1 week chart. So this tells you some movement. So you see this green line that I marked, it was when it came down to 150. I think I had a section with somebody, I can't remember which, I was saying this is a good entry price. And currently we are at 2. Don't forget that Chance was ranging. That is why I drew that box. It was ranging in this box here. It was ranging here for a long time. It's ranging here for a long time. And you know, one thing about ranging market is the longer the ranging period, the stronger the breakout, either up or down. So either up or down. That's why I put this danger sign here. So we don't want to see any news that will push it down. So luckily, the Q3 actually sustained it, and then it closed 205. So if you can get it at 2, fantastic. I bought some at 2. And I have another community where we are pushing, turning 1 million to 5 million. This is the first stock I recommended, and the goal is for them to take position at 2 Naira. And once they take position at 2 Naira, we are looking at this, but our target is just 30% in that community. But if we can get 60 or 80, I think it will fasten our movement or our speed to our destination. So ID is the daily chart. So you can see the ranging period here. You can see how it is. And you can see there's a breakout from the 21-day moving average here. There's a breakout here. I think you can see, but if you check, you see it. And what we are expecting is from here, there should be a move. But that doesn't mean there might not be a pullback to 2 again or 198 again before we see any run. Because sometimes stocks will give you opportunity to go in before they will start to move. So this is Champions. Champion revenue actually went up 69%, and it was actually a bad one for them, Q1. So this just to give you some excellent stock and some that are not too excellent. So you can compare these with Custodian, for example, because Q1 for Champions, bad, not a good one. Q2, excellent, 247% jump, earnings per share 248. Q3, bad. Q3 is bad. No, Q3 is not bad. Q3 is not bad. Q3 is actually excellent, 482%. So if you add up everything together, profits for year to date 127%, and earnings per share 124%. So the result is not too amazing, even though. But let's see the charts. So this is the chart for Champions. So all things being equal, there's a way they play this kind of stock. For example, Q1 not too good, Q2 great, Q3 great. Now, this is a recovery play. And one thing about Champion is people will always drink, and their Q4 should be excellent, should be better than their Q1, Q2, Q3, because this is the period that they made the highest sales. This is a festivity period. A lot of people will drink, a lot of people will travel, they will party everywhere. A lot of people we win award. They will tell you they drink 4 crates, 7 crates. Some people will tell you that, in fact, they feed the whole community. Everybody even took some drink home. So all these things will return as profit. So I'm expecting an excellent Q4 from Champions. So if they had good Q4, then we'll be expecting an excellent or a good Q1. So if they sustain a good Q1, you'll be sure that this price will continue to go up gradually. It's rather unfortunate that the stock was actually struggling to cross 4 naira, despite the fact that their Q3 result was superb. So I think currently the price is 346, and if one can wait, although I have good unit of this, my purchase price was even higher than this. I think I bought 390. I bought 390, which I plan to average down to 350, so that maybe at 4 I can reduce my position to get something else, or I hold on to see how the stock will do. So far, these are the few stocks I just want us to look at. I don't want to confuse us. I don't want us to have too much. So by next week, I think we've done UACN, we've done CWG, we've done Champs, we've done Champions, we've done Custodian. So we've done 5 so far. So next weekend, we'll also meet again to do another 5. So after we'll meet like 4 times, that will give us 20 stocks. We look at the key area, quarterly earnings. We just picked revenue, profit before income tax expense, profit for the period, and earnings per share. Then we'll talk about the goals, growth, and paying attention to dividend stocks. Then we'll look at market analysis briefly based on the all-share index, and we are at the danger zone. We are paying attention to what the United States election will look like. And as a result, we want to see how it's going to affect our market. And based on the overwhelming result that has been dropping since last week, the markets are investors are yet to actually digest it to know which direction to face. We also talk about sectors that are doing well, most especially the oil and gas sector, followed by the banking sector and the insurance sector. So these are the key areas we are also paying attention to, and ensure the stocks that will be picking from this region. We also talk about how 80% of the results so far are actually excellent and few are bad. Then we look at Custodian. Custodian has an excellent Q1, excellent Q2, excellent Q3. And if you look at year to date, it's also excellent, making a 750 Kobo earnings per share, which translates to 7.50 Kobo. So we are optimistic that they may do another 250 by the end of the year, and that will give them 10 naira earnings per share. So who knows if they will pay 1 naira or 2 naira as dividends. So because they gave us a few cash to enjoy as interim dividend. We also look at the chart. It's doing higher highs, and we want to monitor the higher highs to ensure there is no change of character or change of structure. The uptrend. So we look at UACN, excellent Q1, excellent Q2, but Q3 not too good, even though when you now put everything together, we still have a growth rate of more than 100%. So we look at the chart for UACN, which is a weekly time frame. We also look at the monthly time frame, which gives us, if everything comes as we plan, if the market respond well, we'll be having a 203%. But even though we are entering at 2040, will still be a good exit point. And we also talk about CWG, also excellent Q1, excellent Q2, excellent Q3. And it's an interesting stock. And 6 will be a good entry point if we take position early. So we expect their Q4 to be amazing also, even though they don't pay dividends much, so to speak. So this is the chart. The upside we're looking at is 50% personally, but the stock can do whatever I want to do. But at 9, 10, that will be price discovery for CWG. So we look at the weekly time frame also to get a proper capturing of our 50% upside. So we'll get the monthly chart also. Then we look at Champs also. Champs, the Q1 wasn't good, Q2 wasn't good, but Q3 was excellent, 321%. If you put everything together year to date, we have 10% growth in terms of profit for the period. And we also have a monthly chart. I'm looking at 82% from 2 naira. I bought mine at 2 naira, and This is the monthly chart. The weekly chart, you can see it has been ranging. This ranging period is when the stock has been doing 1 naira 99, 1 naira 98, 2 naira 204, and we are waiting for a breakout. You can see a danger sign. This tells us that for a stock to range for a long period of time, the breakout will be stronger, either upside or downside. So we are very, very careful. If we see a dip, we can sell, maybe 190 or 180, or we'll pay attention to average down, because we know that any dip will be taking it to 150. And at 150, we want to average down because we'll see a bounce back, because 150 has proven to be a support region. So we look at the daily chart also. So you see the ranging properly, and you see the sign that I mark at the down to tell you is a key support region. So we also have, I think that's all. For the 5 stocks. Then I showed a bit of champions. So I went down to the Excel sheet. So this is the spreadsheet. So we look at champion. So champion have bad Q1, Q2 excellent, Q3 excellent. So if you put them together, profit for the period is actually 127%. And we look at the charts of champions, and this is the growth rate and growth potential, all things being equal. So the plan is to do 5 stocks like this every weekend until we're able to check out these stocks. Then after then, we'll now pick the best out of it, and now have our best 10 or our best 5 for 2025. So by November, as we look at what the US election will be like, and new policy and their relationship with Africa, and how the market will respond based on who is going to be the president of the world, we'll know where we are going to. And based on the sectors we've checked, we know that the banking sector will do well, and we know the insurance sector. By the time I showed you that of NIM Insurance, their earnings, and Guinea Insurance, you see excellent performance. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? So if no question, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to, if you have any question after now, you can drop it in the group, and I'll do well to provide answer to the question. Now that you're done watching this video, and I want to believe that you took down some notes and you've been able to check the prices like I advise, what is stopping you from taking that action? What is stopping you? Don't allow your mind to deceive you, guys. Don't allow your mind. The stocks you are going to get are stocks that will be able to deliver good return. And see, guys, for the first time in December, I'm going to be sharing the same method, the same pattern I use in spotting these stocks you just watch in this video. The stock you just watch in this video, I'm going to be sharing that strategy, but I don't need much people. I just need only 10 people who I can impact this system, so that they also can go and do this with their portfolio and come back and share their testimony. But for you that is taking action today, join my community. And guys, guess what? The price of my community will change by January. So if you are joining now, you're able to renew at current. But those who are joining at January, they are going to renew at that January price. But if you are joining me now, because I know by the time you join us in November, December, when we are picking stocks that will take position for the next year, you'll be able to see the kind of money you will make in the market. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post enriching videos like this. Until I come your way again, keep making money and keep protecting your profits. I love you all, my friends, and there is nothing you can do about it. Hands to head salute. See you in the next one.